Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kelvin here. Just last week, Bitcoin fell over 20% to 18k before coming up a bit. Ethereum fell over 25% to under $1,000. The last time they were this low was in 2020, where everyone were like stonks every day. After the crash, MAS be like, le koala, I told you guys that crypto is not suitable for you. Just kidding, they never said that. But I can imagine them thinking about that. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk about this whole crypto crash. What happened? Why did they start crashing? And more importantly, whether I'm still bullish about crypto or not. But before I start, I would greatly appreciate it if you can help to tap the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. In return, I will show you guinea pigs eating. Alright, let's start right now. So, as you might already know, the crypto world is like a big roller coaster ride. In just 6 months, the entire crypto market lost over 50% of its value. We found out that stablecoins were so stable after all, when USD collapsed and bringing down Luna along with it. One of their biggest investors, Three Arrows Capital, is facing insolvency now. But wait, that's not all. Just last week, the crypto lending platform, Celsius, suddenly freezed withdrawals, locking out roughly $12 billion in user assets. And there were many layoffs in the crypto industry. Coinbase cuts 18% of their workforce. BlockFi cut 20%. Crypto.com lay off 260 employees. And going forward, I would expect more bad news to come. But why is this whole crash happening? Basically, it's the same exact reasons why stocks are crashing. First, you have inflation all the way to 8.6%, the highest it has ever been in 40 years, thanks to post-pandemic demand and the Russia-Ukraine war. Gas prices have hit an all-time high. Food costs have gone up 10.1% year over year. Shelter costs went up the fastest in 1 month. Second, you have the Fed reducing monetary supply and increasing interest rates in order to slow down inflation. They'll be like, I don't know how much is enough, but I will rate hike you and crash the market along the way. Then we have recession fears. Right now, we don't know if we are in a recession yet, because we will only know if there's a decline in GDP growth rate for 2 consecutive quarters. The last one we had was a negative quarter. So we will need to wait for the report for the upcoming quarter. But even so, there are already a few signs that suggest we are already in a recession, like consumer sentiment dropping to record lows, the lowest it has ever been so far. Also, the GDP tracker predicts that we are on the brink of a recession. Then you'll be like, I thought Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation? How come my Bitcoin fall faster than my Tesla stock? Well, yes, but no. Bitcoin is still considered as a risky asset class. And when you have fears in the market, risky stuff like growth stocks, meme stocks, and crypto will be the ones that fall the most. 1 year ago, when crypto is still going to the moon, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor be like, sell your house, sell your wife, all in crypto. Okay, he didn't really say that, but here's what he said.
But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin.
If you had listened to him, you would have lost more than 50% of your money. You will lose your house, and of course, your wife will not be happy. But what does he think about crypto after the crash? Check this out.
Over any time frame, 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, Bitcoin's the best performing asset. I can't come up with a better idea. If your time horizon is 1 month, it looks like a volatile risk asset. But if your time horizon is 10 years, it looks like a risk-off store of value asset. So the crossover point is 4 years. Nobody's ever lost money investing in Bitcoin for 4 years.
He feels that Bitcoin is the best performing asset based on his past performance. That's why he's so confident in it. But here's the issue. Bitcoin was first launched in 2009. From 2009 to 2020, we had the best bull market ever. We were seeing tons of people getting rich over stocks and crypto. But of course, just a 10-year performance is not enough. You need way more data than just that. Warren Buffett once said, when the tide goes up, you will see who's been swimming naked. You will see which lending platforms have been doing reckless stuff, which projects are not sustainable, and which cryptos are just created for pumps and dumps. This crash is important because it reminds people what can happen when times are bad. And we shouldn't mortgage our house to buy crypto because crypto doesn't just go to the moon. Sometimes they can crash too. Quick pause, just in case you haven't heard, Webull is the latest stockbroker in Singapore. With Webull, you can buy your US stocks, US options, and Hong Kong stocks for a low fee of $0. Yes, you heard that right. That's $0. They also have fractional shares, which lets you buy your stocks with just $5 angpao money. Then, of course, you might be wondering, what's their welcome gift? I'm glad you asked. If you sign up with my link down below, deposit at least $2,000, then make 6 buy trades on either US stocks, ETFs, or options, you'll get $100 worth of Apple shares. This promotion ends on 30th June, yeah? With that being said, let's get back to the video. So, here's the question. Am I still bullish about crypto? Or do I think crypto is just a Ponzi scheme that has no intrinsic value? Yes, I'm still bullish about crypto. Here's why. First, value of crypto. There's this whole debate about whether crypto has value or not. And it's not just normal people who think that. Warren Buffett said that crypto doesn't produce anything. It's a rat poison squared. So, here's my argument. My white rice doesn't produce anything. In fact, it will spoil if I just leave it sitting there for one day. But why does white rice cost money? Because you can use it. So simple. You can eat it, you can make egg fried rice with it, you can even rescue your iPhone with it. This is the same for crypto. They have value because they have utility. For Bitcoin, it's not really created to hedge against inflation. In Bitcoin's white paper, it says Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's the original goal. In Afghanistan, after the Taliban took over, people were using crypto to move money around. In China, people were using crypto to transfer money out of the country. But now, the purpose has evolved a bit. People like you and me don't really use Bitcoin to move money. Instead, we just buy crypto and pray that the price will go up. That's all. So, to us, Bitcoin is an investment asset. For cryptos like Ethereum, there's a lot more utility than just transferring money over because Ethereum is a programmable blockchain. You can use it to make applications like finance, web browsing, games, identity management. Right now, there's about $45 billion in Ethereum alone. And to say that it has no value is a bit lame. But for other crypto like Elon's sperm and Shiba Inu, they totally have no utility other than just to pump and dump. Many of these crypto won't survive this crash. So just think of the crash like a hand sanitizer that kills 99.9% of the germs. Only 0.1% of the cryptos that have real use will still be around. Second, crypto adoption. There are many signs that show that crypto adoption is going up. Check this out. The number of active Bitcoin addresses has been going up over time. Same for Ethereum. Total value locked has been going up too. Though it has come down quite a bit thanks to the crash, but it's still higher than 2020 levels. More companies have started using Bitcoin since 2 to 3 years ago. There were even 2 countries, El Salvador and Central African Republic, that made Bitcoin legal tender. Though with the crash, things aren't looking so good for them now. But that's not the point. The point is, crypto adoption is going up. Also, crypto are already being taught in schools. And we have crypto events going on every year. All this just says one thing. There's a lot of interest in crypto. And I certainly don't see this interest going away just because crypto is crashing. Third, the future of crypto. As you might imagine, crypto is still a very young technology. Scams and rug pulls are happening every other day. Crypto is still super volatile, but this is just the beginning. Blockchain developers are hard at work behind the scenes. US has already started to look into how to regulate crypto, which will make crypto a lot safer and transparent. When that happens, you will start seeing even more crypto adoptions, like institutional investors or even sovereign funds putting money into crypto. So here's what I'm doing. Personally, I'm only investing in the top few cryptos. Bitcoin and Ethereum are my surest bet. They are considered the blue chips in crypto, and I'm quite sure that they will survive this crash. I'm also invested in Cardano and Solana, but I see these two as a more speculative bet. I plan to only hold up to 10% of crypto in my portfolio, nothing more. That way, if crypto goes to the moon, great. But if they go to zero, I will still cry, but at least I won't lose everything. Also, ever since Celsius froze withdrawals, I realized that it's not a good idea to keep cryptos on online platforms. So I've moved all my cryptos to a cold wallet, because if earning 5% on my cryptos means that I can lose 100% of them, thanks but no thanks. I'd rather not earn that 5%. So if you want to avoid the risk and you want to keep your crypto safe, just get a ledger. I have a link down below if you want to buy it. I've also done a tutorial on how to use a ledger. But if you need more tutorials, do let me know, yeah? That's all for today. Like, share and subscribe, as I'll be posting more videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.